I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? Who did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.
Soren, it's the podcast. It's Quick Question. We took a little break, but we're back now with the show, and I'm here to tell you that justice has been served.
Wait. Oh, good. Let's see. What were your grievances that I think might have been fulfilled here? The man who tried to get you to cut a bunch of wood for money. No, the man who was going to bring you wood for money is dead.
No.
Okay.
No, Soren, I'm just going to tell you, the story ends and begins with me being correct and righteous and victorious. It is
that's a good feeling.
Kind of a story about the system being broken, and it's all incredibly petty. A couple weeks ago, I went to the gym that I go to once a week to take my gym class. There is between 20 and 24 people who take this class every session. The gym has 7 parking spots, and so you have to go to the lot attached to it or outside of it, and that is a paid parking lot. And I paid to park. It's $1 to park for an hour, and I paid my money. And then I went and I took my class, and I got out, and I had a ticket. And lots of people had tickets. Everyone that I walked out of class with, we were all like, we've got tickets. This is nuts. And we're like, clearly, the kiosk is broken. The machine that you pay is broken.
That's a pretty good scam, by the way.
The equipment that the ticket issuing officer, his equipment is perhaps broken. But we were all very chill about this. And some of the people in the class, they had their receipt because they're smart. I didn't have mine because there's no law that says I'm supposed to keep the receipt. I was like, okay, I will just contact the parking authority. And in my head, I was going to contact them later that day, and they were going to say, let me stop you right there. Your
We
ticket
heard
is
about
dismissed.
this. Yeah.
Everyone's been calling us. And that didn't happen. And I called them up, and I was like, hey, I got a ticket, and I didn't actually park there. And they said, great, do you have proof that you paid? I was like, no, I don't, because I didn't keep the ticket, because you don't need to keep the ticket. But surely there are records in the parking kiosk that will either, evaluate your machinery. Either it will say that the machine is broken and no one parked all day, or you could trace it to my license plate and it will say that I did park. One of those two things, and then we can dismiss the ticket. And unfortunately, we can't do that just because you feel like the machine. Oh, I said that. I said, no, we can't do that. We need proof. And I emailed them back. I was like, what constitutes proof? Here is a screenshot of my bank statement saying I paid $1 to park on this date. Surely that's going to be enough, because that would be an insane thing to fake. And they said, unfortunately, there's no timestamp on that bank statement of yours. And I wrote back again, and I was like, but let's just be human beings about this. A lot of us walked out of there with tickets. Surely you're getting other complaints from other people. There's obviously something wrong with your machinery if this happened to so many of us. And they said, you need to call and schedule a court date, because we will not respond to your emails anymore. Just because you feel like something is wrong with the machinery doesn't mean something is wrong with the machinery. And so obviously I wrote back and provably they did not respond to my emails, true to their word. And so I called to schedule a court date. and went through the whole thing with that person on the phone. And they're like, you tried emailing? I was like, yeah, I tried emailing. They no longer want to speak to me. And I just figured maybe we could figure this out over the phone. She said, no, nobody else has contacted us saying the machines are broken. And I'm like, those fucking charlatans in class, we all said we were going to fight this together and no one's doing anything, or the parking agents are lying to me. But either way, I'm scheduling a Zoom court date. And here's some annoying things about the system. And like, I want to, before I get into the annoying things about the system, I want to get ahead of what our audience is thinking. I know I'm being petty and ridiculous. I absolutely know that at this point, with 4 emails and a phone call, I've gone to way too great measures to avoid paying. I buried the lead a little bit. A $33 parking.
Wait, stop for a second.
No, I know $33 is only $33.
It's not the point.
And I know that I make good money, and but you're right, is not the point. $33 is not $1, which
Right.
is what I paid to park, which I already, if just stepping outside of the bounds of this particular situation, is already absurd that we're paying for parking at a gym that I'm already paying for to take classes there.
Yeah, ordinarily at a gym, they'll give you like you just go in there and you like scan your ticket and they're like, oh no, you're at the gym. It's cool.
Yeah.
And you get that validation.
Not in Red Bank, New Jersey, doxing a place. So I called the person and I was like, I guess I have to schedule a court date. And here's some interesting things, some ugly things about our judicial system that I am learning through this, is just how discouraging they are of anyone seeking justice, of anyone who wants to do this. And I think, and maybe this is just her attitude, because I'm fighting a parking ticket and it's a very
because you're
minor
traffic
thing.
Batman. Yeah.
But it seemed like she is reading from a script or like following a program where I'm saying that I want to do a court date. And she's like, are you absolutely sure? Because it's like, it's early. You're going to have to get on Zoom pretty early. I was like, yeah, my computer isn't the kind that needs time to wake up. I can do it as early as possible. I work from home. I could be available for a computer. It's like, okay, well, because you're going to get your thing in the morning when you're going to meet with a prosecutor and they're going to talk to you. And then later you're going to have another time to be in front of Zoom to talk to the judge. Okay?
Excellent.
You're going to be in front of the judge.
That's so exciting.
And there's no telling what that time is going to be. And it might be hours and hours. Like, everything that she was doing was designed to get me to say, okay, no, I'm not going to do this.
Right.
I will pay this ticket, even though it is unjust. And I was like, I understand everything that you're saying to me. I still want and need to see this through. But there was something still small in my brain that I was like, just real quick though, if we schedule this court date, and let's say my wife is at work now, and let's say she comes home and I talk to her about this, and then let's say she says that this is a silly thing for me to do. Can I cancel my court date? And the woman said, yeah, if the voice of reason comes home and tells you not to, then you can
She
cancel
said that?
yeah.
She really didn't want you going to court.
And I was like, okay, that's good to know.
I would have dug my heels in. There's no way I'm not doing that court date. As soon as somebody's like, come on, man, just pay the unjust $33.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, this goes all the way to the top.
I know.
Fuck all of you.
And I did go to court. I went to the morning and I meet with the prosecutor. And in the time between when I'd parked and this meeting, I had accumulated more proof. The screenshot of my bank statement still doesn't show a timestamp. And so I chatted with a Bank of America representative explaining the problem. And they said, we have a charge for parking on this date that you say, and it's timestamped at 9:17 a.m. And I was like, great. Can you send me something on Bank of America letterhead that says that, please? Because I'm taking this to court. And the guy said, no, we can't do that.
Are you sure you want to take this to court? You're probably going to have to get up pretty early.
We cannot timestamp transactions in a bank statement, which I
But
think
he
is a
can see
strange thing.
Yeah.
But he knows
absolutely.
it, but I'm not allowed to tell anyone. And he said, you are welcome to screenshot this chat that we're having and try that. And I was like, brother, I'm going to do just fucking that.
Oh,
And
I thought you were going to be able to bring in a witness. I was so excited. I would like to call to the stand.
I do
Jerry
have to
from
say-
Bank of America.
My plan was to send the screenshot of that conversation and my bank statement. And also, if that didn't work, I was willing to share my Zoom screen and do a live chat with someone else at Bank of America
Yeah.
to prove, like, just in case you guys think the chat is photoshopped, because it seems pretty easy to do that. Here I am talking with a fucking person. I didn't have to go to that. I talked to the prosecutor, and he was like, you want to fight this? I was like, yes, and I have proof. And I sent the proof. And then I waited for the judge. The judge was an hour late to court, and I waited with a lot of other folks. They call them one at a time, and some of them have defense attorneys with them, and some of them don't. And the judge just goes through, like, person by person by person by person, and they get to me, and they say it's dismissed, and I say great. And then I email the court after that, and I was like, hey, the judge said he talked to the prosecutor, and my case is dismissed.
Same woman, I hope.
May I please have documentation of that? She said,
Yeah.
no.
Really?
I know.
Wait a second. How does anything fucking get done? Ever?
I don't know how anything fucking gets done ever. And I know that this is that people are going to roll their eyes because I am. It's a story that's dripping with privilege. I have
The time.
not only do I have the money to pay $33, I have the time to sit in front of a
Which is
computer,
way more,
because I'm-
arguably way more valuable.
Yes, but and as happy as I am that I won this thing, it's really fucking infuriating that
Yeah.
because in the before we talked to the prosecutor, we talked to like a court administrator who's just going through like doing some very basic admin stuff of like, hey, your Zoom name just says like user number 3 or such and such iPhone, so I need your full name, like a roll call basically of everyone who's in the Zoom. And there are people who are like, yeah, I'm here. It's 8:30, like I was told to come. Is this going to happen soon? Because I have work.
Yeah.
And the administrator's just like, yeah, I mean, if you have to go, you have to go. But this is it. This is court. And there are so many people who don't have the luxury that I have
Right.
of a job that is also a computer job that I can simultaneousally do while sitting around and waiting for a Zoom court. And it just seems commenters will probably point out how it's a system that is made more unfair by people like me clogging up the schedule with my bullshit. I will point out that I was forced into this position, and I went to great lengths to not have to go to court. But it does seem like a system that is, and again, these are like the most minor of minor offenses. It is a system that seems to bank on you not using it. They want you. They want this to be too inconvenient for you to
Fight for yourself. To advocate for your own rights. Yes.
And it sucks. And I won, but it still sucks.
You don't know that you won. I mean, you won in the room, but
Yeah.
who knows how this will actually shake out. There's like a single clerical error and you're right back at zero again.
I know. It's just I'm gonna have to go through. Here are my screenshots with the Bank of America robot named Justin. Here's a screenshot of my email where a person from the municipal courthouse said no when I asked for proof.
Yeah.
Is
why I
there
want
anything
you to-
else you need?
I want you to be able, God, I desperately want for you to be able to talk to that person again. The person who was like trying to convince you not to do this. I want you to go to them and be like, I went to the steps of City Hall and I won.
Yeah.
Like, I did this. What do you have to say to that?
I was ready to throw a lot of hardworking, presumably underpaid parking authority employees under the bus.
Yeah.
I was prepared for the judge to look at my case and say, like, this is just a parking error. Why didn't you email the parking authority so I could say, I emailed this named person at the parking authority, and they said they will no longer take my emails and that I have to go to court. And then the judge would say, that seems like a huge waste of this court's time. And I would say, Your Honor, I agree. I don't know why this named person felt it was so important that I come here. I was ready to burn it all down.
Yeah.
Didn't have to get that far.
This is, well, I'll talk about why this is so satisfying to hear, but I do want to hear a little bit more about this prosecutor. Was he harried and disheveled? Like, I want to know what he's like.
He was not harried and disheveled, but I mentioned that some people had defense attorneys who came and spoke on their behalf in the Zoom.
Oh, right. You got to see a bunch of other court.
There was some real harried. There was the judge called a woman's name, and then her attorney came on and was like, Judge, Your Honor, I'm so sorry. She's not here. She was on Zoom. I can't find her. She's not answering her phone. This has been... May I please request the court just come back to me in a little bit? And Judge was like, that's totally fine. And Judge came back. I was like, she's here now. And then she dropped off again. And the attorney just goes, it's been such a long week. It's Thursday. It's been such a long week. He said, it's not hard. It's not a hard thing to do. Your Honor, may I please have more time? It's like, man, this fucking guy, he's got it way worse than I do. He's got to do this all the time.
Oh, man. Yeah,
and
there's
also
a whole new element. I mean, getting people to court, I think, would be tough. But also, just like getting them to stay at court is not super hard unless you're over Zoom.
And there are so many people who clearly, like, leave the computer, come back, and they're just sitting in Zoom and everything is silent, and you're just looking at, like, live feed of a courthouse. And so someone will, every once in a while, someone will just go, hello? Jonathan Ruff, back? I'm here. Do I need to do anything? And they're like, no, we're still at the sit quietly part. I'm like, okay, great.
Oh my God, dude.
Favorite person in the court was someone who rode his bike on the sidewalk, which you're not allowed to do in this particular town. There are a couple of towns where you're not allowed to do that. I know in LA, it was always a real pain in the ass because you would ride your bike through Los Angeles, and in some towns within LA, it's legal, and some towns it's not. Like I would ride my bike from West Los Angeles, where I lived, to Santa Monica, where I worked, and the law changed along that path. And people who knew the law would yell at you if you were like on the sidewalk when you crossed the border into Santa Monica. They were very upset about that.
That's true. I'll say the police have bigger fish to fry than a single cyclist, and they will never pull you over for that kind of thing here. But yes, you're right. It does change from, I don't know if it's, I guess it's from city to city here. Yeah.
Well, this guy got a ticket, and it's very funny to me that the judge called him. Is like, yeah, you got a ticket for riding your bike on the sidewalk. It's a $57 ticket. How do you plead? And the guy pled guilty. The judge was like, okay, that's $57. The guy's like, yeah, I'm going to pay that. Your Honor, I'm not from here. This is crazy. Where I'm from, we ride our bikes on the sidewalk all the time. This is crazy. And the judge was like, yeah, well, I mean, it's in the summer when this town gets very busy. It's less crazy because someone riding their bike could crash into someone and someone can get paralyzed that way.
Is it summer now, Judge?
So it's not that crazy. And actually, the fine isn't crazy, but the consequences of riding on the sidewalk can be very crazy. The guy just goes, yeah, I know, but Judge, come on. Come on. I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know how you do things here, but that's crazy. And he kept saying it's crazy until the judge hung up on him and kicked him out of the Zoom.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
And I appreciate
he
so
took
much.
his day in court just to do that.
Yeah, all
he could have just paid
morning.
The ticket.
This guy, he was always going to pay the ticket, but he's like, I just need to tell the judge that this is fucking crazy, and I just need everyone to hear it.
And objectively, you're right, guy. I think he wanted the judge to be like, candidly, you're right.
Yeah,
that would have felt so good to hear.
I'm sure there was like an outside chance where he thought the judge is going to say, hey, you know what? You're right. Let's change that law. Yeah. But mostly it seemed like he wanted to just say, this is nuts. Who agrees? All right. Bye. Thank you for
Everybody
your time.
raise your hand. Well, let's wait till Jared is back. He walked away for a little bit. Let's wait till he's back so everybody can be accounted for here. Who thinks that's nuts? I like that you did this because two things. Two things happened to me that are very similar, and one is arguably more petty. We were going to the convention center for the LA Comic-Con when we used to do that at Cracked. And I parked 1 second. You hear that vacuum?
Yeah.
Okay, is it too loud or is it okay? And Gabe, I guess this is more of a question for you. Okay, great. Here we go. We went to the LA Convention Center. We used to do that for the LA Comic-Con that used to happen. And I parked at a meter there because it's downtown LA, and that's all there is meter parking. By the way, I'm not against that. I think that it's fine that you don't offer free parking to people in cities because it encourages them to take other forms of transportation.
Sure. Okay.
But
what? Like bikes?
Sidewalk bikes. And so I parked. I go to the parking meter. I try to pay it, and then I get to the front of the screen is completely there's almost condensation in it, and I can't see a thing. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And I'm looking at the other ones, and they're like that too. So I'm just like pecking buttons, hoping that something works. I take my card away. I come back later. I've got a ticket. And I'm like, unfair. I couldn't see it. How could I possibly pay this? And so I wrote them a letter, which I've done in the past where I missed a street sweeping day or whatever. I'm like, hey, the signage was no good. And they're like, all right, we're not going to send somebody out there to go look at the sign. So we'll just take your word for it on this one. So I wrote them a letter and I was like, hey, parking enforcement, you shouldn't give me this ticket. There's condensation all over this thing. No one could have possibly paid. And they were like, do you have proof? And I was like, that would have been smart. So I waited. Well, first of all, I tried to go back because I lived very close then. I went back the day after they got that letter, and there's no condensation in there. So I'm like, it has to be a foggy night. It has to be like a night where there's a lot of like dew in the air. And so I waited. And I waited. Didn't have to wait long. It's fall time of year. It's like that's when we were getting that kind of weather.
Yeah.
And I got it. Went over there, got a picture of that same meter with condensation in it, and then went to Randall, who used to do all of our pictures for the site, and got him to erase the metadata from the picture.
Oh, crime.
Because I needed evidence, and I didn't want the evidence to say from like 5 days later or whatever.
I mean, that would be great. I'm sure a lot of people would really like that. If when someone said, do you have any proof, they could just say, give me some time and I will have proof.
And so I sent that in. I sent that picture in, and they were like, yeah, okay. And they erased my ticket. That, by the way, was, like I didn't pay 50 cents or like whatever it was. And then the ticket itself was, I think, for around like roughly $30.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not doing it. You can't charge me for this. This is extortion.
Yeah.
And then when I lived in Santa Monica, I had parked my car. I lived on a pretty busy street, and there wasn't always parking because there was multifamily housing. So if you went to the side streets beyond that, it was all single family, and there's a lot more parking on those streets. And I'd parked on one of those. I had left my car there for 3 days, and I came back to get it because I was riding my bike back and forth to work. And I came back to get my car one day, and my car's just not there. And I was like, I think my car got stolen. So I'm like trying to call the police and stuff. And they're like, did you call any of the impound lots? And I was like, no. Should I? And they're like, yeah. And so I called an impound lot, and they had my car. My car had been towed because somebody in one of those houses, the minute I parked there, called my car in as an abandoned vehicle. And it takes 72 hours. If a car is there for 72 hours unmoving, then it's considered, and from the time that it's called an abandoned vehicle, you get another 72 hours. Then after that, they tow the car. So there's just somebody on one of those streets who didn't like that there was a car in front of their house, and so immediately called it in as abandoned. And I went to the police station hot. I was like,
sure.
I'm bringing in statistics about like how much worse it is for the environment just starting your car as opposed to driving it, like moving your car back and forth and stuff like that, and how much better it is for the community for me to be on a bike. And I'm like, listen, I bike to work. Here's how I do this every single day. And every once in a while, I have to use a car. I don't have a choice because I live in Los Angeles. I should be allowed to leave my car somewhere for 3 days. And they're like, I agree you should be able to leave your car somewhere for 3 days. But this person called you in, and if your car doesn't move within 72 hours of that, and they're like, "What? Do you have a history with this person? Like fights with this person?" I was like, "I don't even know who this is," and they're like, "We can't do it." They're like, "Our hands are tied."
They don't have enough data in the system. I know they have it. If someone says this car is abandoned on my street, they can look at that car and see to whom it is registered and what that person's address is to at least say, no, this is probably the car of someone who lives here.
Yeah,
or
they're not going to do that work, man.
At most, call the person to whom it's registered and say, hey, did you leave your car?
What a dream that would
street?
be if they did that. Because most cars that that are abandoned cars are cars that got stolen and then moved, and then the person disappears. That would be wonderful. It would be so nice if they actually did that. But I think that there are two different departments that are at work here that don't ever talk to one another: parking enforcement and the police. And like only when it really matters do they come in contact with one another. And here they're just like, well, we marked it. 72 hours later, it's no good. We're going to tow it. And so they towed. And I'm sure that they make a bunch of money this way too. It's valuable to them to keep the system this way.
That's my two takeaways from my incredibly petty, incredibly privileged experience is that the system only works for the most privileged people who can take the time and the energy into addressing it, and B, the system relies on people not following up, I think, for like a pretty meaningful amount of revenue. I imagine.
Yes,
I don't.
Absolutely.
I can't imagine it's so cut and dry of a scam that someone says, hey, it's the 15th, issue 300 tickets for parking today.
Yeah.
And we'll get whatever percentage of those people don't fight this, we'll get that, and that's going to make up our quarterly numbers. I don't know if it's that cut and dry, but I also might think it's that cut and dry. There's got to be some degree of enough people.
We know that that's happening.
Yeah. If you get some kind of accommodation at work, if you issue a certain amount of tickets for parking, and if you get no reprimand, if some of those tickets have a bounce back, then you are not encouraged to be very judicious with your ticket issuing.
And so we know that this happens in cities where they don't have the right number of citations yet. And so like suddenly you'll just see police out in force that day, and they're just issuing ticky-tack traffic violations all over the place because they need to. And like people have come that we know that happens. So I'm sure that happens in parking enforcement as well, where you can't just like walk in and be like, I don't know what to tell you, boss. Everybody's parking real good these days. And they're going to find a reason to ticket some people or be more authoritarian with it. I think that a lot of times like they aren't doing as much as they maybe necessarily should be. Like they're just not out there as often. But like they're just going to have everybody roll the streets and find the singlest person or the first person who goes like a minute over a meter, right? So anyway, this thing that happened with it is not over yet. I had gone to the police. They were not willing to help me. And so I started to take the law into my own hands in the pettiest way I could think of, which was
you had Randall Photoshop the entire police department
in there with
compromising positions.
They're wearing heart boxers. It was
it's humiliating.
Every opportunity I could, because this other street didn't have a ton of parking on it, I would no longer park on my street. I would park just on the street in front of that house at every turn, and I would park there for longer periods of time than I ordinarily would. Where I would, because I found out how they do it, how they mark the cars. They put a citation on that says like, if you got to move this within 72 hours, and they chalk a wheel. And so I would go out there, I would pull the citation, and I would pull the car. I would reverse the car about 50 feet and then put it back in the parking spot so that it had moved.
Chalk a wheel. They mark your tires with chalk, like chalkboard or sidewalk chalk. Okay.
Yeah, they mark it with chalk, and they have it basically in accordance with like a clock, basically, where they're like, some cop is like, I'm going to be marking these at 10 o'clock. And so like he's marking every wheel at 10 o'clock. And if as long as your car's, that chalk isn't at 10 o'clock on your wheel anymore, then you're safe. And so I would, every chance that I got. Like that's the only place that I would park. That was my house as far as I was concerned. And I parked there from that point on till I moved out of that apartment, which was probably like another year and a half, maybe 2 years. And that's how petty I'm willing to get.
That's very interesting that you think that's taking the law into your own hands.
Yes. I was parking Batman.
Well, should we get into the show?
Yes, we should. I have a quick question for you.
Shoot.
Daniel, what is like the cliff's edge of your musical taste? Is there a song that it doesn't subscribe to your ordinary tastes? You have like a way that what is going on here? You've got
I'm just putting a headband on because I found it. I'm not trying to be distracting.
Over your headphones, a headband. Yeah. It's looking really good. I bet it doesn't feel great, but stick with it.
It's gonna come off before the episode ends.
Right. I want to know the song that is like a song that's so far afield from your usual taste that it's bizarre to even you that you like it, but a song that like you love. Mm-hmm. Like what is the very edge of how far you will go in your musical taste? And I can go first.
You should go first.
Okay.
Because I have to send another song to Gabe.
You know that I'm a basic bitch. I like pop music. I like songs that are predictable, like songs that I can, I know when the chorus is coming. Like I like songs that I can dance to. That's who I am. But there's, for whatever reason, this song. All right, are you familiar with Animal Collective?
I see that name a lot.
Okay, Gabe, will you play the song? I'm going to talk over it. Okay, and just turn it down a little bit, yeah. All right, this is a song called In the Flowers by Animal Collective. Now, Animal Collective, if you're not familiar, a lot of their songs...
Has the song started?
Yes, this is the song.
Oh,
now,
man.
songs have... They, like, ordinarily Animal Collective songs, they sound like a bunch of different... I would assume, like, insects or some sort of animals, and it's all kind of discordant like this. I would consider this ambient music. There is nothing predictable in this. When are
you listening to this?
I will listen to this at the gym. I'll listen to this when I'm driving in my car. I'll listen to this late at night when I'm coming home from a party. Even like I'll take time out of what I would be like listening to songs I can sing along to play this song. I love this song. Now here's some lyrics.
Okay.
They're barely intelligible.
Yeah.
I do think that the lyrics are beautiful when I look them up. But go ahead.
Nothing. It just hasn't, until very recently, hadn't even really introduced itself as a song.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's more fair to call that sound shapes early on, like what we were listening to. But it does at some points it feels like it's gonna like turn into a real song. And then you just get like a little jiggling and it goes right back into like what it was. And there's no way to predict what's happening at any given moment. I think that that eerie quality is like scratching a very strange itch for me. And then there's gonna be a point here where you just get hit with this wall of sound from this song. And I think it's so beautiful and good. Gabe, will you go to like go to like 220. Yeah, right there. Right here. All right, I'm going to have you just listen to this part.
I need to listen to it because there's... Oh. This is nice. And an argument could be made that they should have made the whole song out of nice. I mean, I'm only half serious when I say that, because I do really appreciate songs with like kind of a massive payoff like this.
Yeah.
Where like there's a key change or like a complete sonic development that just suddenly feels really good. I don't think I've ever heard of a song that does that kind of technique that has been quite as jarring and alienating as the start of this song has been.
Yeah, Gabe, you can turn it off. That's like the most important part right there. But you can turn the song off.
He said off. He said, there we go.
So yeah, I would say that it wouldn't mean nearly as much if there wasn't also the lead up to it. I think that this was probably, I don't remember the circumstances of which I first heard this song. I bet that was important, but but I was probably giving it a shot and then got that payoff like 2 minutes into the song and was like, now it's my favorite song.
Yeah.
The beginnings, I don't know that I actually enjoy even the beginning. I think that I've just tricked myself into now thinking I love all of this. I have gone back and looked at the lyrics and like tried to understand the lyrics and really enjoyed them and started to think like, I think that this is a really good song. And then it does sound like a bunch of crickets or like insects or animals all like kind of coming together. And then there's a moment after that wall of sound where like the wall of sound just feels cacophonous. And then all of a sudden everything sinks in like a moment. And then just like, there's like a good beat and it's clear like what the progression is. And I love that moment. I think it's so good.
What the song felt like to me until that moment is there are a lot of, you could track down like very early experimental films, like when cameras were invented, kind of experimental film, where a lot of what we're seeing is like someone wanted to see what they looked like laughing and what they looked like crying, or they wanted to see what will it look like if I crack an egg, or what will it look like if I cut a thing open and then something spills out? What if I open my mouth and there's a flower in there? Just like very clearly, what a kid does with an iPhone.
Experimenting.
Except it's like an adult man in a suit with a cigarette filming himself silently laughing and silently crying. And so when you look at these videos in their totality, it seems like the Ring video because there's no narrative to it. And that's what a lot of this song felt like in the beginning.
Yes.
It really just seemed like early man discovers sound and sees
just trying different
happens.
things. Yeah. If I jingle these together, it does have that sensation. Like nothing feels like it belongs together at all.
But you are totally right about the payoff of that wall of sound happening, and it wouldn't be as refreshing if it weren't so uncomfortable for so much of it. Mm-hmm. So I do respect the choice for that reason.
There's also like I think maybe the first time I heard it, there's like that lyric as soon as the wall of sound comes where it says, "We'll be dancing and you'll smile and say I like this song," and I was like, I really like that lyric too. Like, I don't even know what the rest of the song is about, but I think that lyric is so wonderful. I think that I heard that lyric and I was like, oh, I think there's something really going on here. And then sat there with the lyrics for a long time afterwards, like just trying to figure out why the song exists, which, by the way, I think could turn any song into a good song for you. Like anytime somebody now I want to like ask people in my everyday life, like, what's the weirdest song that you're very into?
Yeah.
And I want them to give me an honest answer. So then I can just sit there with a different approach to music. Like sit there, listen to the song as like somebody chose this as their very favorite song. I'm going to figure out why. Like I'm going to figure out what it is about this that's like hooking them. Cause maybe it'll hook me too.
Yeah. My turn, Gabe. Please play the first one that I sent you, not the second one.
Oh, this better not be some fucking lunch money criminals or I'm going to
It's not going to be lunch money criminals, I swear to God. Because you said we're only allowed to bring one.
Okay, so I'm going to play this in a second, but first I wanted to ask, Soren, do you happen to know what like political cause this song was made in benefit for?
I didn't realize that there's a political lean to it at all.
Yeah, well, actually, political might not be the right word. It's more like environmental. The song was made for the coral reefs.
Is it really?
You didn't know that? You couldn't tell?
What on earth? That is not. I did. So I've listened to it a lot. I've looked at the lyrics a lot. I did not get that this is a song about like saving the reefs. Wait, what elements of it? In the flowers?
So I guess it's part of a whole project they did with an organization called Coral Morphologic that features time lapse of surreal coral and reef creatures.
It does have an underwater feel to it. I'll give it the song that much. But that's so surprising because like the song is there. This is not the original version either. The Animal Collective is like famous for changing their lyrics before they get to the studio release. So they'll play songs live and start like tweaking lyrics as they go. That part where right before the Wall of Sound where he says, "If I could just lose my body for a night," that used to be, "I guess sometimes I just have to miss my wife." Because it's about being away. It's like being off on tour or whatever like that. And he talks a lot about this dancer who's like, will dance no matter what, and dances and never feels like sadness. It just dances because she feels good about everything, and how he can't capture that. He can't do that. And then in this like one moment, he's like, if I could just like leave for a minute and just dance with her. And like he's sort of like it's like fantasizing about that and how like, well, I just couldn't care. I wouldn't care about anything. Everything would be good. You could smile at me and you could say you like the song, and like I know I'm selfish, but I won't be this way long. And like it's that over and over, and then it goes like back into the regular song as he comes out of this fantasy. But I had no idea that this is about coral reefs.
There's such a legacy of really strange songs that are weirdly about environmentalism that I love. There's a Bjork song. I'm gonna tell you some lyrics. Your mouth floats above my forgive me, Bjork featuring Rosalia. Your mouth floats above my bed at night, my own private moon. Just because the mind can make up whatever it wants doesn't mean it'll never come true. Won't ever happen again just because she can. Please, could I change that? Is that the right thing to do? Oh, I just don't know. I just don't know. Is that the right thing to do? Oh, I just don't know. I just don't know. This is a Bjork song about fish farming. About the the protest against extensive open net pen fish farming in Iceland.
No, okay, here's the thing. I think you can just write a song and then like afterwards you could be like, oh yeah, by the way, that song's about BLM. And everyone will go, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna release a song that's gonna suck shit and not make any sense, and it's gonna get widely panned, and I'm like, oh really? Because this is about women's bodies, and so like what you're really doing is you're saying that you don't care about reproductive rights. So how does that?
Yeah, it doesn't reflect very well on you.
Now? All right, my song, Gabe, hit it. The title kind of gives the game away. If people are just listening, it's a tap dancer and an upright bass player, and then a third member's about to join in.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. It's a cover, like, you know this song. You've probably never heard a cover of it done with mostly
tap
feet.
dance.
Yeah.
It's a percussion cover.
There's so this band that has been like releasing albums and oh wait, real quick. This is when you learn that it's a medley. It's a medley of tap dancing pop songs. So this band, Postmodern Jukebox, they got a lot of YouTube viral fame because they would do retro covers of pop songs.
I'm familiar.
They would, Beyonce, Sia, Lady Gaga, they would get like a full band together and everyone dresses up in suits and like flapper dresses, and they do like old school covers of pop songs with great singers and great musicians. And that is extremely my shit. So I've been following them for a while. And then they did this strange thing where they brought out a tap dancer as like in lieu of a singer or soloist. They just brought up a tap dancer who's going to tap along to this medley with a bass player and a drummer and very briefly a piano player. And it came to my attention again because I've been following this band and I liked all the singers that they were getting. And then suddenly there's this thing and I'm like, what is this? These aren't the rules. The rules are...
Did you hear it or did you see it first?
They both happened at the same time.
No, I mean like, oh, so you were watching it as a video. This
Yeah.
wasn't like on a Spotify. You're like, I do like postmodern
No,
jukebox. I'll
oh
find
no,
it.
yeah. I was consuming all of my postmodern jukebox songs via YouTube at the time.
Okay.
And this came up, and it's an incredibly watchable music video because it's all one take, and
Yes.
it's like fun and interesting and cool, and like I don't watch any other tap dancing in my life because there's a part of me that isn't sure it's a valid art form. But this is just really cool. I think my understanding of tap dancing was more in like the dance aspect of it than it was in
Yeah.
the percussive aspect of it. And
Totally.
seeing it used as like an extension of the drums is much more interesting to me. And
Oh, just going for it.
this has gone from like a weird thing that popped up on my YouTube to something that I will occasionally watch nothing but this for I'll look at the clock and like hours have gone by and it's just been on loop in the background, which people might find a little crazy because so much of it is just tapping, like especially if you're not
Right.
if you're watching the video. Sarah Reich, who was the tap dancer, she's very good at selling it. She's a professional tap dancer and teacher, and she's like smiling and she's doing all the fun stuff, and she's like got little bits that she's doing with the bass player and the drummer, and it's like a very charming video to watch. So you might put it on and think like, okay, I get it, I understand this content. You have to know, I am not watching the video when I'm listening to this song over and
You're
over
just
again.
listening to it.
I'm not getting the charm. I'm not getting any of the impressive footwork. I'm just listening to a lot of what sounds like frantic people trying to get in through my window by banging on the glass.
A lot of foot percussion happening. Yeah, that is certainly doing a lot of the heavy lifting in that song. I'm enjoying it. I enjoy it for the same reason that I enjoy anybody. Like when somebody sings, it is essentially magic to me because I don't get it. I don't understand it, and it's not a thing I will ever be able to do. To see somebody tap dance to a song like that as well and do it that well, it's scratching the same itch for me.
Yeah.
I'm getting it there at the same thing. So it's doing the same job. So I understand that. A thing I've noticed about tap dancing, arms are super important. Don't understand that totally. There's this very specific type of dance that you do when you tap dance that's not like any other type of dance. And boy, are the arms an important part of that dance.
Yeah. I think DOB devotees of this podcast will recall that in college I was in an all-male a cappella group called Casual Harmony, and I sang bass too, and I would sometimes do vocal percussion, which you probably know more formally as beatboxing, and I got really into learning how to beatbox and watched a ton of videos of beatboxing online, and through years of performing with this group and going to other colleges and other competitions where we would perform, I had seen a lot of beatboxers in person, and the good ones, the bad ones, there's something that we all have in common. No one knows what to do with the rest of our fucking bodies. No one. You will see some beatboxers who will do like a little bit of drum miming, but they're not really good at that. And also you kind of need that breath control. You don't want to be exerting yourself too much, but you also know that you're like standing there, and there's some people who like when they're singing they can like gesticulate with their hands in a cool way, and that's harder to do when you're beatboxing, but the body wants to do something. No one has ever figured it out. No one looks good doing it. I feel like tap dancing has probably run into a similar problem early, where it's like, this is largely a feet-based endeavor, but there's still so much me that people are going to be looking at. What am I going to do with the rest of this? Even though the arms aren't like making the noise that you like, they're not doing the thing, they're still on this, we share the same space as the feet. And so people have just decided like, I'm going to throw my arms over here.
I'm going to do a lot of wavy arms.
Just make it look like I'm working until canes get invented and I can like move those side to side. I'm just going to like throw my fucking crazy arms just to compensate because I can't just Lord of the Dance, Michael Flatley. I can't just keep hands pinned at side. I need to like show that the rest of my body looks like it's doing something even though it's not.
Right. It's having a good time, at least.
Yeah.
I want to know what ideas lost out to this one, to wavy arms, because
Yeah.
wavy arms is like, that's the standard. That's the gold standard of tap dancing, is that you're doing like big circles with those arms. It looks like a shoulder exercise.
Yeah.
And they all do it. And also with their feet, sometimes they do a little wavy thing with their feet. And that's also clearly just some pageantry that it's not making the song any better. It's not like you're hitting the clip in such a good way on the boards that way. It's just like, this is a fun thing I could do too. Watch my knee, I go wavy.
Tap dancers will do that thing where they make their feet go out real wide and then real tight over and over again. And they'll also do it with their arms. They're like, look how wide my arms and my legs are going. And it's like,
look how big I get.
Those arms can take a breather. They're not making it's the
Yeah,
click.
I want to know. I wonder if there was somebody
tap.
early on who was like, "Oh, let me see what happens if I just put them behind my back," and like did that. They're like, it's not working.
No one likes
pockets. No, that's not it either. What if I did like finger guns? Like, what are the things that they tried? And they're like, none of this is selling. I think we got to come up with something new. I think the arms have to be doing something big.
I'm sure there are a lot of tap purists early on who were like, no, the feet, that's the show. If the feet are good enough, no one's going to care what the arms are doing. And the director's like, brother, I'm telling you, people are used to seeing the whole body do stuff. They're going to be they paid for a dance. They're going to want some of their money back if they only get feet. You got to do hands. And I was going to wait till you cooled down before I brought this up, but you got to smile too. You got to put your whole face into it.
Face also has to be very busy. It's not going to work if the face isn't also busy. I think that it must have been I didn't realize it till you said it, but like it must have been a huge boon. As soon as like hats and canes were introduced into tapping, oh, what a dream that is. It's fine. No, it's fine. She can leave it on. She can vacuum. Yeah. Yeah, I think it must have been like as soon as you like, because I'm pretty sure that the hat probably predated the cane for that. For like getting a hat involved was like, oh, thank God, a thing I can take off and put back on over and over again.
It's also it's probably reasonable to assume that canes predate tap dancing as well.
Well, but I mean, as an institute, like as a part of tap dancing, yes.
Okay,
I'm sure that they do, but still, like putting them as part of the art form is like, oh, this is great. Okay, now I have a cane, because cane's two hands, and you don't have to take it off the cane if you don't want. You just do that back and forth thing the whole time. No one's gonna bat an eye. Everyone's like, gonna be like, the hands aren't doing enough.
No, they're gonna be like, the hands are holding the cane. Of course,
the hands hold the cane. They're doing everything they can. They're just trying to keep up. I don't. Tap dancing is one of those things where I'm like, I don't totally understand. Can you improvise tap dancing? Do you have to memorize? Just like in percussion, when I used to play snare drum in middle school, I had to know, like, I couldn't just improvise. I had to know, like, when the beat was supposed to be and, like, when I was supposed to be hitting that stupid fucking drum. Like, is it the same with tap dancing? Do they have to memorize? And do they have music, like sheet music, where they're like, oh, I should be doing
that's a great question. I imagine they must be able to improvise.
30-second notes.
They must be able to improvise. This Sarah Reich, who you can find online with Sour Taps is her Instagram handle. She teaches workshops and also does a lot of things like this where she is just tap dancing with a band. That might just be a thing that she owns. She might be like this very specific using tap as percussion thing. And she can probably improvise. I don't think she has notes. I think it's probably closer to like dance routines where you learn choreography. I also my only other final thought about tap dancing.
It is
and why I think it might not be a valid art form is in high school we did the musical Chorus Line, which has a lot of dancing, and there's a whole specific number where it's like everyone goes through a pop dance routine, and everyone goes, there's like a ballet section and there's a tap section, and the ease with which I learned tap assures me that it's not real dancing. It's like, because so much of dancing never connected with me, but tap dancing I was like, oh, I'm really good at this. In fact, most of our guys in this school are pretty good at tap dancing. Tap dancing must be bullshit. There's no way we're all really good at this and none of the other dances.
I used to have a bit that I would do when conversations with Lowell and we were all standing around at a party or whatever, where I would just start tap dancing. And if you're on a linoleum or like concrete surface or whatever, you can make enough noise with your shoes that you can make it sound pretty good. And if as long as you're doing all the arm stuff and you're doing like the tap behind your foot with a toe and like doing a lot of like that big stuff, little stuff, you can make it sound where you like hit your toe and your heel kind of all at the same time. You can make it sound pretty convincing.
Absolutely.
And it was enough that I was like, I think I would be really good at tap. But maybe the secret is there is no such thing. Everybody is good at tap.
I think you would be great at tap, Soren. I think you would crush it because it's very easy and it's just following orders, and you don't really need to look good doing it.
Yeah. The bit, I'll say, was impressive. Impressive enough that people would be like, they would be mad. They'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Why do you know how to tap dance? And I would be like, that's the secret. I don't. I just watched some people and I copied them.
That's every tap dancer.
I like that song. I don't know that I would listen to that on my own. I do like that you also used to listen to. You would like mow the lawn and listen to levels of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yes, 100%.
Is it 2? I can't remember if it was 2 or not. But
I don't think it was limited
enough.
to 2. It was the same artist behind both games.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you independently of the game be like, and now time to relax to a little bit of Casino Zone.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck you were listening to.
Rules so fucking much. There are some big bands, like big bands are doing like covers of video game music too, like 8-Bit Orchestra and stuff. They'll every once in a while do like a Sonic medley. Right. That's extremely my shit. That rules so hard.
Yeah. I could see that being huge for you.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to listen to this song. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to lie on a bed and listen to this song and decide how I feel about
I'm
it.
gonna revisit
what
I
Flowers
what
by
I
Animal
thought
Collective.
Animal Collective was or did, because it's a name that I've seen enough that my brain tells me it's Spotify must think I like them. I'm sure I've heard more than a few Animal Collective songs. I don't know what I thought they sounded like, but it's certainly not what you played.
They
today.
do have, it is cacophony. Like it's a lot of it's cacophony, but it all kind of like their songs are very, very hit or miss for me, which I'm now realizing is true of all my favorite bands are the ones that are some songs I find completely unlistenable, and other ones I'm like, oh, I get this one.
That is true of you.
Did you see The Words? Is a wonderful Animal Collective song. And Reverend Green is also a really wonderful Animal Collective song. But this In the Flowers one was like so shocking to me because I was like, unlistenable. I hate this song. Oh my God, I love this song.
Yeah.
This is the best one of all of them. Yeah.
Well,
all right. That'll do it for today. Thanks everybody for listening. Go listen to these songs. And then also, I would say, it's a good icebreaker, man. Like, find out what the weirdest song is somebody likes, and then spend some real time with that song and be like, I'm gonna figure out why you like this, because I think you learn a lot about the person, but also you might end up liking the song a lot.
And my apologies to anyone who thought just this. No, fuck them.
Oh,
my apologies to anyone who thought just the music portion of this podcast was interesting enough to send to a friend of yours, who will now also have to sift through 25 minutes of man versus law parking ticket privilege.
There is no order to these, is there? I'm sorry for whoever has to title this episode, which will probably be Gabe Harder.
Yeah.
Thank you to Gabe Harder, who is obviously the glue to this podcast. He's the one who played all these songs for us. And
what a segue.
He is the sound engineer, editor, producer, the social guru. He's everything for us. And if you'd like to if you want to hire him for your own podcast, tough titty. You can't find him. He's not available. And if you liked our theme song, that's by me, Rex. They also have some really great songs that are very unique that you can really sit with and explore, marinate in, I would say. You also, if you like this video, if you like this podcast and you wanted to watch a video version of it, you can do that on YouTube. If you like this podcast and you want more of it, obviously you can do that on Patreon. If you would like a more streamlined version of this podcast where you don't listen to ads, that will also be available on Patreon. There's a no ad version of this podcast on Patreon. So, another good icing on the cake reason to join. That's it. Goodbye.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all go? How do we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Billy, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time, yeah. I think you'll have a great time.